Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am the Giant Rat and I want to thank you for watching today, for joining me today. Whether you're on your couch, whether you're on your tablet, on your computer, on the TV, on your phone, on your game system, however you're watching, thank you. I appreciate it. Today is going to be a long conversation, so strap in and get ready because we have to talk a little bit about the future of the channel, the future of the content that I'm delivering on this channel, and how we're going to get to have our conversations in the near future. Basically, how I deliver content to you may change. Why it'll change, how it'll change. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of patience, grace, and maybe your ear and attention a little bit, because I want you to understand why there's constant changes on this channel. Let me just say part of that is because this channel was always intended to be an experiment in YouTube algorithm and delivering and finding content that you, the viewer, would want to consume. And by consume, I sound like a marketer, and that's my background, and I apologize for that. But it's true, and by that I mean stuff that you really want. What do you want to hear? What do you want to see? And where can we find common ground? Where do my interests intersect with that? And what I've been finding so far is that between the YouTube algorithm being singular and between what actually gets your eyeballs and your attention, kind of know what you, the viewer, as a whole want to see. Then there's another segment, another niche, if you will, of viewers, people like you who are still watching this video and still listening, that maybe a little different thing. Maybe you're not into the same thing that the bulk of the viewers are into. And if I'm being honest, you and the fact that you're still watching and listening are probably more important to such a degree to me that I feel like even though I maybe need to change the content and delivery on this channel, I still want to build something with you. And I still want that organic relationship that we've formed, and that, for lack of a better word, I guess I would say bond that we've kind of formed through this medium. And I need to figure out how to make that happen. And I think I have some answers to that. But it's going to take some thinking and some soul searching and figuring out exactly how that's going to happen. So stay tuned. We're going to have a conversation. This video is interesting because right now I'm on my way home from work having this conversation with you. And I've actually had 2 earlier conversations with you that I'm going to deliver to you right now. Over the last few months, we've gone on this little journey. Kind of started as a daily journey, and I really enjoyed making daily videos for you, talking to you, having a conversation with you every day. And that started because of, it was kind of inspired by daily vloggers, mainly Adam the Woo. Really the main reason why I started this channel, or at least in the format as I've been bringing it to you over the last few months. I've learned a lot about YouTube, about the potential for building a community on YouTube, and its various difficulties and challenges associated with trying to do such. There's been a number of you that have come along for the journey, on the journey, and have hung out, and we've had our discussions, and we've done different things, went on a few adventures, and we've done some history, some theme parks, and just talked. Things that I really enjoy doing with you. The main inspiration behind doing that might have been Adam the Woo, but there's also others. There was the Philly Captain. I really love his content. And there's Jacob the Carpetbagger. I really love his content. Although I can't always watch it because his vlogs tend to go anywhere from 45 minutes to like an hour, and I just can't always make the time for good old Jacob. So I try and watch them when I can. There's others, of course. There's been others along the way that have inspired me. People that do different things. But none of them really did what I was trying to do. And most of those people, with the exception of the Philly Captain, end up traveling across the country and bringing you interesting things, interesting places, and vlog with interesting people. When they veer off and start doing like singular topics and stuff, they complain about not doing well on their channels. Well, they have the last couple years. And that's because, and again, let me just say, I think they had a lot of trouble figuring out whatever the formula is that YouTube is using for their algorithm thing, the dreaded algorithm. I know a lot of people will sit there and they'll say, well, content is key. I'm here to tell you that's a bunch of BS. Content is not key. It's a big part of it. A big part of it. Probably one of the biggest components, because once you start to build a community, you need to provide the content that your audience started to follow you for. And that's really what brings me to the point of today's vlog. This vlog originally, way back when, was intended as a placeholder to eventually start doing some theme park stuff. I held off because theme parks are so flooded with people that enter every day. I've been covering theme parks on different channels and doing theme park stuff for many, many, many years. Probably about a decade or more. But I never really stuck to it because I was raising a family all along and working a regular day job. And I live 1,000 miles from Disney and Universal, from the heart of theme parks in the United States. But as I've grown over the years and as I've started to get older and some of my kids get older and I become less responsible for them, I've been able to go to those theme parks more often, as well as my own local theme parks or amusement parks. And so let's get back. I put a pin in that. Let's talk about these other vloggers. Adam did a lot of variety, and again, he inspired me, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this channel as of last summer, before Adam passed away. And my intention was to bring you a lineup of once a month America 250 vlogs, and bring like some theme park content mixed in with roadside attractions, which, to be honest with you, is more of a Jacob the Carpetbagger thing, I think. And that's where he inspired me, because I love roadside attractions. I really do. And the history part. The problem with me doing history is that I'm hyper local. Now, that brings me to another content creator, the Philly Captain. He's what I would call hyper local. Most of his content is geared around Philadelphia and Philadelphia related things. That's why he's popular. What he built his audience on. Because Philadelphia is a really interesting place, filled with interesting people, particularly around sports. And Philly is synonymous with their sports. That's how he built his audience. And over time, as he gained audience, as he continued down his path, it's a similar story to Jacob and to Adam. He builds a community based on people watching his content because of him. They're interested in him. So like Adam, what was the topic for Adam? Adam didn't have a topic. It was variety content. But if you watched Adam the Woo, did you watch Adam the Woo because he went to Disney? I'm sure a large portion of his audience would say yes. But did you watch Adam because he started out in urban exploration, urbex? And another large portion of his audience would say yes. What about his local little walk and talks, his personal conversations that he had? And other people would say yes. His roadside, his travels across America and to interesting places, or his international travel, his adventures. People would say, yeah, that's why I watched them. Some people. But the reality is, those things all made up Adam the Woo. You didn't really watch him for that stuff. You watched him for him. And he was the topic. He was what the vlog was about. It was about Adam the Woo. And he built up that entire persona. He built up that entire channel over a period of 12 years plus. Longer than that, really. Philly Captain, hyper local, very, very like Philadelphia content. But the people that watch him, there's people that watch him for various reasons, but ultimately, if you live in Manitoba, Canada, and you're watching the Philly Captain, you don't probably care too much about Philadelphia. You're watching the Philly Captain because you like the Philly Captain, because of his personality, because he's interesting, because of his bits, because of, you know, the whole package, right? If you watch Jacob the Carpetbagger, you're watching for Jacob because there's not really any cohesive singular topic. These guys built these channels up over a number of years, and they typically started with singular subjects. Jacob with his travel. He didn't do a lot of theme parks. He did a lot of travel early on. And the theme parks that he did do were a little more obscure. Adam did a lot of urbex early, but he also did, like, it was goofiness. It was just himself. It'd always been himself. It would have been about him and his lifestyle, you know, and that's basically what it was, a lifestyle vlog in a way. Even though he traveled, it was about that lifestyle. He's just an interesting guy, right? That's what he was. And the Philly Captain, hyper-local, Philly sports fan. And Philly sports fan has a reputation, and he lives up to that bill. And so people tune in. He's like the heel in professional wrestling, right? The guy that you want to maybe not necessarily cheer for all the time, but the guy that speaks to a part of your humanity that's just like, screw it, I don't want to do this today, right? So I don't know, maybe that's not the exact way I would describe him, because I think the guy has a heart of gold. He's a really sweet guy. Anyways, I'm veering off here. These guys have all been able to capture the algorithm based on those things I mentioned, and they build an audience starting with those things and then springboarding into other stuff. My channel, I've tried to do a little bit of all of that stuff, and I want to build organically. That's what the mission's always been, based on the things that I love. Some of that's theme parks, some of that is history, some of it's, having conversations with you, just a personality thing. Some of it has been just adventures, just adventures, sometimes out in the woods, right? So, variety. When I used to game stream under the name Willie Rob Levi on Twitch, and actually create a YouTube channel on that character, that was done with the intention of variety. I played variety games. I did variety vlogs. I built models. On one vlog, I would build a model, like a plastic model, and then on the next vlog, I might be out in a state park doing an adventure. And then on another vlog, I might be at Walt Disney World, Epcot, somewhere like that. I didn't really build a big audience other than on the game streaming stuff. And the reason why people would tell me they're following me on game streaming, why they tuned in, and I built a little community there. It was based on me. I was different in the game community. I was this guy with a big beard and, you know, I just had a personality. I was an older guy for that medium. All of my audience, they were younger, and they tuned in because I was different, because I was an older guy doing this stuff, a little wild. Sometimes I would drink on stream and do different crazy things like that. That's how I built that audience, that community. I was probably the oldest out of everyone in that community. They just tuned in to see the old guy fail and occasionally get a win on a game, you know. And that's really how that took off. I should have learned a lesson from that. And like from the variety YouTube channel, I should have learned a lesson, because the algorithm was trying to teach me a lesson, and so was the audience. So why am I bringing all this up? Why am I talking about this stuff? Here comes the whiny vlogger portion of the vlog. I did a video the other day. I thought it was a pretty decent video, actually. And what bothers me the most about some of my videos is I do a lot of research, but my memory just sucks. So when I do research and I write a script up and I put it into my phone and I bring it to you after tons of research and fact checking, I try to. It doesn't always work the greatest, the fact checking. Sometimes my facts, I find out later, aren't so accurate, but not to the extent where I'm really bungling some facts and making, you know, something ridiculous. Trust me, if I did make some harmful, ridiculous statement, I'd tell you about it. Anyways, the other day, I made a video, hyper-local history, so, you know, I didn't expect it to do well. And I made this kind of cool thumbnail. Yes, I used a little bit of AI, and it's nothing new. I use AI to make thumbnails sometimes, just because it does a way better job than what I would, and it conveys a concept that I want to convey. Because honestly, I don't like making thumbnails with some stupid look on my face, pointing at something and looking at just like doing something. It's as the thumbnail that you see from your favorite vlogger is as inauthentic, if not more so, than a thumbnail made from AI. At least with an AI thumbnail, the person creating the thumbnail is directing the AI to do something. All the AI is doing is taking a set of data that you're inputting and then creating a picture based on what you tell it to do. That's way more authentic than me doing some kind of stupid look on my face, looking like a complete jackass and pointing at something that really isn't even what the video is about, but just designed to draw you in. That is, in my opinion, more inauthentic. than an AI thumbnail using inputs. Anyways, that's just my opinion. Some people may not like that, and that's okay. I use AI sometimes because I'm not a talented artist. I can't draw very well, but I have ideas, and AI can actually put those ideas together in a way more efficient and kind of cool way. By the way, takes many, probably to get a good thumbnail, it typically takes like 5 tries on AI. And then by the time it's all said and done, I'm usually doing something. I'm using my own editor. I'm using Canva after that. Anyways, so it's not totally AI. I put a lot of my own stuff into every one of them. It takes a lot of time just to make a stupid thumbnail. And for whatever reason, that seems to be important to every video. So creators wrap up a lot of time on back-end stuff. And really, that's the problem with creating videos. It's a lot of back-end stuff. And it gets to be painful. Not physically painful, but you get what I'm saying. See if you remember this place. I've been here before, but it's spring. Things are starting to look a little different. Got some greenery going on and some other stuff. But this is a really nice place to just kind of relax, gather your thoughts. Just a really nice park here. Back to topic. What are we even talking about here? Well, that video the other day with the thumbnail and the thing about the Mountain Itney, the princess, and all that stuff. It got like, I don't know what it's up to now, but it was like 0 views the whole day. YouTube and the algorithm did not put it in front of you, the viewer. I even took time to put hashtag, like the right hashtags and all kinds of stuff in there, and it still didn't land in front of you, the viewer. And if it did, most of you were completely uninterested in it. And believe me, that's fine. I have no issue whatsoever with it. But it's not the first time that a video like that didn't really land on this channel. Which got me to thinking, what is landing on this channel? What is working? What do most of you, not all of you, most of you, the viewers, want to see? Mr. Squirrel, once again, there he is. You look like you've been fed pretty well lately, Mr. Squirrel. I know those of you that do watch this thing regularly, all like 4 or 5 of you, like this type of thing, like the history stuff. And to me, that's the stuff that I love the best. That's where a lot of my passions lie as far as this type of vlog. But the majority of people on this vlog and the algorithm put this vlog in front of theme park people. And to be honest with you, that's partially my fault. I started this as a theme park vlog. So maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. So I've got to make some decisions here. The algorithm and the viewership have already pigeonholed the channel into a bucket. That bucket is theme parks. Does that mean this channel will only ever gain any traction on theme parks? Well, honestly, I don't really care so much about traction, but my main passions, theme parks and amusement parks, history, and roadside attractions. You know, I'm always going to have an element of that on this vlog, but primarily it's theme parks that people are most interested in. I see that in the numbers overwhelmingly. Now, the only thing is there's not a lot of engagement from the theme park crowd. You know, they'll follow, they'll like things. Most importantly, they watch, because that's what they're interested in. They want to see ride videos and stuff like that. I like watching that stuff too, but I don't typically engage. So it's very low engagement, but high views. So I'm at a point where I have to make a decision. Do I transition this vlog after this experiment for the last 3 months or so? Do I completely transition this vlog into a theme park vlog? Kind of leaning that way, because I'm not getting traction from like a lot of history buffs and stuff like that, from people like that. And ultimately, well, I don't care too much about monetization, because I have a career. I never intended for YouTubing to be a career. I just want to create community. But if no one's watching the content, what the hell am I even doing it for, right? By the same token, I understand that history and all those other things that I'm interested in, it's mostly hyper local a lot of times, and for the most part that content is more organic, takes a while to gain root. I understand all that, but I'd like to see a little more growth from this channel. So I guess I'm saying I'm at a point, I'm at a crossroads here. I'm going to continue to do the same things. I have 3 YouTube channels. This is the only one that's regularly active. The other one was for Willy Rob. And then my original one was just experimental. And that one I had probably around the time YouTube came about. And I put some very early on edited fun videos up. I really didn't do much with it, you know, it was just like messing around. So, again, this crossroads. What do? I really have to think what's worthwhile here. Do I continue doing this on this channel? Do I continue the history vlogs and all the other stuff, roadside attractions, all the other things that I really love doing? Do I keep doing that because people don't seem to watch it? Or do I do theme parks on this channel and then transition one of my dead channels, one of my inactive channels, to those other things? So like history and roadside attractions and adventures. Maybe I start doing that on the Willy Rob channel. That's what I originally did on that channel, a lot of variety and that type of thing. But maybe I focus it on adventures, travel. Maybe I focus this channel on theme parks, because The Giant Rat is a takeoff of Mickey Mouse. It was always meant to be, originally intended to be, a theme park channel. And I know that's not for everyone. There's a lot of people that don't like that content, and I get that, trust me. I totally get that. It's like, some people look at those people and they think, what a bunch of weirdos and freaks, but I'm a lover of theme parks. Old, new, I love the technology, I love the thrill rides, I love the feeling that you get, the nostalgia of a theme park. There's just something that appeals to me. Maybe it's like the child part of me, and in my spirit, or maybe it's just my kids, having that time with my kids and my family. But it's nostalgia, whatever it is. And I'm a deeply nostalgic person, if you haven't got that already. Even if this channel would get really big, the type of person that would sign up for media passes and, do the media thing and say everything is wonderful at this event. That's not me. In fact, if you missed it, I just basically said that I feel like in several videos, and there's a third one coming out on Sunday, and in a number of videos I just basically said Disney is charging you, is manipulating you to pay extra money to do a fast pass system. So I'm not that type of guy. But I do love theme parks, and I will continue to cover theme parks and amusement parks, whether on this channel or whether I do something on another channel. I don't know. As far as that vlog went with the Nittany thing and the Henry Shoemaker thing, it was disappointing because I really liked the Henry Shoemaker stories, and I really wanted to do a series on the guy. And if I'm being honest, I'm probably going to do it, whether it's on this channel or on a different channel. I'm going to do a Henry Shoemaker vlog or series, and I'm going to talk about some of his folklore and some of his stories, because I think they're really cool, fascinating, and they interest me. And I know there are kindred souls out there that would be interested in that stuff too. Again, it's local stuff, but it's also national history. And there's always people that are into that stuff. But for myself, I just love doing the research and creating those vlogs. I'm way more passionate about that stuff, I think, than I am the history or the theme park stuff. But again, people want to see the theme park stuff. And if I'm being honest, that's why I just bought a $500 camera to put out better looking theme park videos. The camera that I'm coming to you on right now that most of you couldn't care less. I did it for me, really, if I'm being honest. All right, that's all. No, it's gone very long today, but I had a lot to get off my chest and explain. Again, sorry for being whiny, the typical whiny vlogging crap. There's no indictment on you, the viewer. It's the typical vlogger complaining about the YouTube algorithm and how they've crafted it. They've simplified it to such a degree that everything is single. A theme park vlogger can't do history too. A history vlogger can't do theme parks. And God forbid you do those and other things, because you'll get nothing. Nobody will watch it because YouTube isn't putting it in front of anyone. I've seen this with a lot of other creators, and they've tried to address it in different ways. But from what I can see, this is simply an issue of the algorithm doing what the algorithm does. Putting everyone into little controlled singular buckets and not allowing room for small creators to branch out and do different things other than the niche that they've kind of already assigned you. It's time for me to give in on that and make that adjustment. Also, just a real quick thing. The reason why I would keep this one theme parks is simply because all my other socials that lead up and feed this one are also theme parks. And so on Instagram and on TikTok and all the other ones, it's all theme parks at The Giant Rat. And so they lead in and support this, and that's why I would do it. I would probably create other socials for the other vlog should I end up doing that. All right, anyways, thanks so much for listening to me whine and go on. If you've stuck to the end, thank you. I do appreciate it. Dreams, grass, and churros. We'll see you this weekend.